afternoon, or good morning, or good evening to everybody. Hey. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Geoff. And I want you to know that you are going to get lit up. Yeah, I said lit up today. This young lady that we're going to be bringing on in a couple of minutes, man, is a dynamite person. So don't go away. Make sure you turn off anything that's going to distract you. Get yourself a notepad and pen if you're old-fashioned like me, or your phone, whatever, so you can take some powerful notes. And again, welcome all the newcomers to Conversations with Geoff. And those of you that have been following us, we really appreciate it. Oh, man, right? I mean, because listen, think about three areas of your life. And we talk about health, we talk about wealth, and we talk about relationships. Those are the key things. But that's what drives all our conversations, right? And God, I got to tell you, listen to me. All I ask you to do is participate, show some love in the chat for our speakers, drop some comments about things that you'd like us to talk more about, some ideas that you have. This is a conversation. Although it's virtual, your comments mean something to us, right? Because as a host of this, I want you to know that many people call me the king of comeback, right? Because I had to fight all kinds of noise in my head, the outside images about me all through my life. And those that know me know that I am relentless, baby, about getting a hold of something and making a difference. And this is what this is, because our mission simply is to help you be aware of and then begin to change with little habits, the conversation you're having with yourself about yourself, not only at night, not only in the morning, but throughout the day. Because I know I'm not the only one, that sometimes the days are so crazy you just want to scream. I had that today, actually, right? And the noise was racing. But I've taught myself to hit the pause button. So this week, one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is hit the pause button just for a second. Take a deep breath and have a thought of gratitude. All right? Because whatever it is you're facing, I guarantee you there's a power greater than yourself that you turn that noise over to, and he will guide you through. All right? So what's your homework today? When you're going crazy, you feel like screaming, hit the pause button, take a deep breath, do it with me. Out with all the things that are driving you crazy. And remember, the beauty of changing your thoughts is the power of changing your life. All right? So enough of me. And listen, just a quick bio on our guest. She is a mom, a wife, a dynamite speaker. I believe she's either an author or got some books coming out. I mean, she's been doing some great things. We just met, 5 months ago, somewhere like that. And all I can tell you is that a business owner, a spiritual lady of God, and ladies and gentlemen, come meet my friend, Summer Dey.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here with you. I wish I had paper and taking notes with you. That was good. I was breathing with you. I was like, man, I just feel peace.
Yeah, some peace coming out. Let go of all that funk, right? I mean, golly, I want to.
Woo. Good. I love it.
Yeah. So thank you. And welcome to the show. We're really looking forward to it. So I know you don't have a lot of time. We won't keep you long. So let's kind of get to it.
I got time for you, Geoff. You're an important, awesome guy. People are blessed by you, man.
Wow.
When I met you, you made a bold, strong first impression. I just felt, man, this is a guy who has integrity. This is a guy who has generosity in his spirit. Yeah, you're amazing.
Back at you. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I got to tell you, she was in the group. This is a little off subject, but we were in a group at Speak Off. This is where we met. Mm-hmm. And there was, I don't know how many of us, but she was the winner in our group, and she went on and progressed down there. So if you ever see her speaking anywhere, you want to make sure you connect, because this lady speaks to fire. But anyway, go ahead.
Thank you. I was very blessed. In that competition. 27,000 people that applied from all over the United States for the Great American Speak Off. And I got all the way down to the top 12. And then actually the creator of the show told me I was basically a runner-up. They picked a woman to go, and he said that I was the next choice. So top 5, baby. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, and deserving of it too. And I was there. I didn't get that far, but I can tell you there was some hot competition. So when she's talking about where she's at, 27,000 people. Mm-hmm. It was a great opportunity. So now listen, Part of our show, Summer, is that, you're the highlight of your life right now. Let's go back. Let's peel a few pages back. Because part of our gift that we want to give to the audience is sharing your experience when it wasn't so nice, when you weren't the top 5 and life was killing you.
Yeah.
What comes to mind when you think about that?
Well, it actually wasn't that long ago for me, to be honest with you, Geoff. Just about a little over 3 years ago, everything I worked for my whole entire life got stolen from me in 22 minutes by people that I knew, that I loved, that I trusted, and that I had put on as board of directors of my company. And in 22 minutes, they said that according to California law, they did not have to give me a reason to fire me, take everything away, and run the whole thing themselves. And it had been my dream and vision to do since I was 15 years old. And I thought it was all I was ever going to do with my life. And it also was very poorly timed right after I'd lost a baby in the hospital. And I thought I had lost everything. And I'm sure many of your people watching have gone through betrayal. I'm not special in that arena by any means at all. And I don't know if they, after that, went into depression, but I sure did. Yeah. I sure did after that 22 minutes. I'll never forget staring in those faces and being in such disbelief where, you feel like you're watching your life. It's not really happening to you. You're like looking down from on high and you're like, this is not happening to me. That was that moment. And I kept reliving that moment for months and months and trying to figure out who I was when ultimately my business was taken away and my whole identity was taken away. And I have to say, hashtag but God, right? He always knows better than we do.
Yes, indeed.
It forced me to go a new direction, go a new career. I was not going to be a speaker. I was not going to be an author or a coach or do any of the things or run the businesses and do the things I do now. That was never in my plan. So what I do want to say, I love your positivity that you're really trying to teach people. And I would love to say that from the darkest moments in your life, you can get rebuilt, you can get reborn. That tragedy and betrayal, it can be a gift if you let it. It can be an open door that has got a better future on the other side. You just have to be the one that decides to leap through it. It took me a while to make the decision to leap through it. But what I have found on the other side that I've grabbed a hold of has just been really incredible. I'm not without, my struggles in my life or anything. I don't live a perfect little castle princess life now.
Yeah.
However, I'm doing incredible things and I'm meeting incredible people like you. Like that betrayal brought me to Jeffrey Tyson, the comeback king. Like I would not have that. So if you guys are watching this and you're in that dark space right now, just be encouraged. I promise you, there's an open door. You keep tugging on the ones till one of them goes open for you and race through that and grab what's on the other side for you.
I love that you said keep tugging on the ones for you. And I'm just in that situation where those folks that you had known for a while too that did that to you, right? I mean, I think there was some relationships involved outside of this.
Oh yeah, some I had known for decades.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is true, folks, that we can get over hurt even from those that we care about a lot. We've known a long time. Some people are like that really holds them up, and you're living proof that it's another thing.
Well, I have to say that everything in my life has only been possible from a few things. The first one was forgiveness. Like I had to let go and I had to forgive them. And the second thing is I actually did not talk about this publicly. I did not share with very many people because I had to learn that, well, there's a saying, it's what you feed will flourish, right?
Yes.
You spend your time on, you'll have more of. And I realized when I was in that season of talking about it all the time, I was staying there and I was stuck. And I had to learn that my mouth is very powerful. My mouth is very powerful. And that's part of what I coach now is I teach people to master their voice both on and off a stage because what you are speaking every day matters. And I had to stop talking about that. And I had to start focusing on what I wanted to see in my life. I had to start focusing on the possibilities in the future and going, okay, well, now what do I do? Well, I actually always wanted to be a speaker. Yeah. I wanted to be a motivational speaker since I was 14. And I found out that most people would rather die than speak in public. I was like, well, I love to speak in public. Okay. So I got to go back to a dream that I actually had for a long time that I never thought would come true. So there was all this beautiful stuff, but the first thing was forgive. And the second thing was shifting how I spoke. And like mindset is like all the rage now, right? Everyone's talking about you gotta program your mindset. You gotta take your thoughts captive. Y'all got all this stuff. And I'm here to tell you the number one business skill that I teach people is that your mouth will always program your mindset. So you've got to learn to master your mouth. You've got to learn to control the things that come out every day, the things that you speak over yourself, the things that you speak over those closest to you, and the things that you're speaking to people you meet every day. A lot of people don't grow their business because their mouth's getting in the way of what they're saying to potential clients.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's so powerful, and the thought's in there, and then if you let it come out, then you're doing it. And Jesse saying hi, and Steph is saying hi, and thumbs up.
Hi, Jesse.
Yeah. So
good.
Yeah.
Well, can I give you? I would love to give you an example.
Yes,
I want
please.
to give you a concrete example because I don't want to be just a motivational speaker. I'm about being a trainer. I like giving people things they can take right then and there, leave the room, and change their life. So I'm going to give you the number one thing that people say that's sneaky. See, people don't realize they're programming themselves every day. So if you're taking notes, write this one down. Your brain is a goal-crushing machine.
Yeah.
Your brain, God is so awesome. He made your brain to be in agreement with you. He made your brain to want you to win at life. And there's all the science you can study. I'm not a science girl. I like to think of the brain as like a ship, right?
Yeah.
And there's a captain on the ship. And when you speak, that captain says, okay, crew, go out and find the evidence to make her right. Now, let me just tell you the thing that I was saying all the time that I guarantee you people watching this say. I used to walk around all the time and say I was tired. I had a lot of health problems. I was working stressful jobs. So people would say, how you doing? Did you get sleep last night? I'm like, oh, no, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And it took me just like a jolt to the head to go, you know what? Every time I say that, I'm more tired. I never have a day where I suddenly get a gust of wind and here I am. I had this great zestful day. So I stopped saying that. And I go to a lot of events, and I don't know about y'all, but you can drop in the chat if when you go to events, you stay up really late, you meet a lot of people, you actually don't get a lot of sleep. So the first time I ever said it is somebody said at an event, hey, did you get sleep last night? And they knew I didn't, how are you feeling? And I said, well, I got all the sleep the good Lord intended. And then the next person asked me, and I said it again with more power. I got all the sleep the good Lord intended.
Yes.
And you know what happened?
Yes.
I was not tired that day. I was full of energy and zest for my day. So I started testing it out. I'm like, I'm going to say that every time, even if I was tired. Because the thing that I realized is when I would say I was tired, my brain, captain of the ship, wanted to make me right. And the crew would go out and go, you know what? She didn't go to bed till 2 and her daughter woke up at 5 throwing up. And then this happened. And then she was sneezing all night and she's sleeping in a strange bed. And they come back and they go, yes, she's correct. She's tired. But when I started to say, oh, I got all the sleep the good Lord intended, then the crew's like, well, she's a strong believer and she walks in faith. Well, if she says it, then she must have gotten all the sleep she needs. And they report back. And then the captain's like, correct. And so just changing that one thing. So this is what I want to say to the people watching. What's the thing that you're saying? And it always starts with I am. What's that label? The other sneaky ones are I'm stressed. I'm overwhelmed, right? Oh, I have so much pressure, whatever that is. The way that you conquer it, the way that you master your mouth is you have to be prepared in advance for a new answer.
Yeah.
So I had my new answer to I'm tired. I've been using this for about 3-4 years, and it's a magic sauce. It's magic sauce. You guys can
come on with it, girl. Come on.
It's magic sauce. So if you say I'm overwhelmed all the time, well, what are you going to shift it to? When you're feeling overwhelmed, that doesn't mean you can't tell your spouse you're feeling overwhelmed, but I phrase it this way. I say to my husband, overwhelm's knocking on my door today. I'm not going to answer, though. I'm not partnering with that. I'm going to be strategic. I'm going to take some stuff off my plate, and I'm going to have a great day. That way my husband knows that I'm feeling those feelings. I've communicated, but I'm not letting it take root, and I'm not going to let my brain be right, and I'm not going to be overwhelmed. And so have the answer in advance that you can say instead of I'm stressed out. When you change that thing, you will be shocked. You will be shocked. If you're consistent with it, your brain will come into agreement with you and you'll stop being stressed out and you'll stop being tired and you'll stop being overwhelmed. Woo!
And you know what, too, as I listen to you, the people that are used to you responding in that way, when you start to respond the other way over time, they too, if they're the right folks, will begin to adapt to that. You know, they will no longer be trapped by, I call those universal metaphors. Like,
yes, totally.
You know, and it's just so like, man, the pop. We talked earlier before we came on about hung by the tongue.
Yeah, you're dead on, because I have clients. Okay, I teach. This is like when I start with clients, I start with this power of positive language. I tell them you're going to take this out of your vocabulary. You're going to change this word to this. I got a full training, hour and a half training that I start with, no matter what the program is. Because they got to master their voice to change their life. And I've had clients tell me, I say things so often that you taught me. My husband now says them, and he just showed me an email from his boss, and the boss is quoting you. Like, so the ripple effect to the people in your life is totally spot on, Geoff.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know, and it takes a while. Don't be discouraged. And we want to make sure you don't overburden them with your change, right? Because everybody can only take so much. But I like the fact that you said just pick one thing, get something in advance, right? You know, to do that. And I learned early on as an athlete that, you know, it's about overcoming things, and I speak what you want to have, right? So and then later on with self-development, Summer, there's the whole lesson about what you say is what you get, what you think is how you are, how you act is how you feel, right? On and on and on. So I love the fact that you just start where you started. And folks, hey, you heard her say it. She is a trainer. She is a coach. You'll be able to reach out to her later on. So don't forget that. Thank you for that so much, Summer. So yeah,
because they're slippery. I bet you could think of something right now that you're like, oh, I do say I'm stressed. I didn't realize that one. And you study this. You live it. Yeah. I see 7-8-figure earners that live this, and they'll still get those little sneaky, I'm stressed out, overwhelmed, whatever it is. And I'm going, okay, that's got to go. We just got to take that one away. Let's off the table.
Yeah, and being aware, just being aware of it. You start there. You can't do anything else first. You know, listen, begin to listen to yourself. And then the verbal piece, but then deeper, the spinning around, that record playing in your head, Summer, about all the things that are setting you back, that are holding you up. And I want to get back to you, but I want to also say, you know, start seeing your subconscious as a powerful gift for you and not something that's bad. Yeah. You know, so I appreciate that. And but we could talk about this the rest of the time. I want some people to know a little bit more about your lifestyle, living as, you don't mind if I talk about the mobile home?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious. This is not a background. This is not CGI or whatever it is. This is my RV. Yes. I do live full time in an RV. Yeah, we could talk about that. Been traveling the country with my husband and my 3 kids for about 2.5 years. So we do that. And people are like, well, how do you know where we go? We kind of just, God leads us. We go to events, we go to trainings, we go to places that are historic that we want to give our kids, you know, good U.S. history view. We've been to George Washington's house and Washington, D.C. and a whole bunch of places. So yes, you can tell the world that we full-time RV. I think the world knows.
I think that you've told them before, but there's a lot of people that are limited. And just think about, you guys how did that come about? Did you decide one day to do it? Tell folks how you decided.
Oh, it's kind of a fun story. So I had friends that had done it for like 3 to 6 months when their kids were little, and we were studying U.S. history. And I thought, man, that'd be so fun. Let's take our kids for like 3 to 6 months. So my husband and I started talking about it and planning for it. And then in about 2018, God gave me the date, August 1st, 2020. So we had about a 2.5-year window to start, you know, selling our stuff and telling people and getting used to the idea. Well, about 14 months before we were supposed to leave, God spoke to me at church, and he was like, so this isn't about homeschooling your kids. This isn't about seeing the sights. I'm sending you into full-time ministry, and your whole family will lead people to the Lord. And I want you to pick up your mat and walk, sell everything, have no roots and no time frame. Just go. And so I walked in obedience and said yes to that, and just started selling my stuff, literally having zero idea of what we were going to do or where we were going to go.
Oh, man. And so continue with that story, because I want people to hear as a result with that later.
Well, So I told everyone for 14 months that I was going into ministry. And those of you who you want to do bigger, greater things to the Lord, just say yes quicker. Don't get caught up in the how. Too many people are like, well, I don't know how. Well, I didn't know where I was even going, or I didn't even have the money for an RV. I didn't know how I was going to get an RV. God literally said the RV would be provided, and it was 3 times over provided. So I finished reading the Bible cover to cover in April of 2020. And God told me to do it again. He's like, good job. But your goal was to do it in 1 year and it took 2. So I want you to do it again, but I want you to do it in 1 year. All right. Hit that goal. And I was like, no, that was a lot. I just finished. I'm not going to do it again in half the amount of time. God, you're crazy. That is too much. So I argued with him for like 2 months and broke my feet. I don't know if any of you can put in the chat if you've ever argued with God. And then when you were done, you're like, then I'll try to compromise. Maybe I can compromise with God. So I had the idea of like, I'll find 5 friends to read the Bible cover to cover. And I did a Facebook Live and I asked, hey, I'm looking for 5 women to read the Bible with me, hold me accountable because I know God wants me to do this. And before I was done talking, 20 women said, I want to do it. And then they shared it with their friends. And we had 200 women before the night was over. And I'm going, wait, I just wanted 5. What? And then it was 1,000, 2,000. And 2 weeks later, it was 6,700 women in a Facebook group for me to lead through the Bible cover to cover in a year. I've never been in a Bible study ever. I'm not a pastor or pastor's wife. I'm freaking out, Geoff. I'm like, no, I cannot do this. What are you doing, Lord? I had my Moses moment where I was like, I stutter and I'm not qualified. And God was like, calm down. I know you're not. Like, I know you're a pastor. I don't want you to interpret the scripture. I'm like, okay, good. He goes, you're a gatherer of people and an encourager. I just want you to encourage people to finish because it took you 2 years. Just encourage people to finish. And so we had no idea what we were doing, but that was July 13th, 2 weeks before I was going into my RV to go into full-time ministry. So for 14 months, I walked in blind faith of I'm going into ministry, but I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And all of the ministry work was online. So we were able to really travel where we wanted to travel to clients, to go to events, to travel where I could go and have speaking gigs and stuff like that. And a lot came from just saying yes to God. And we're on year 3 now. And we're going to launch year 4 on September 19th. And God has said 100,000 people this year. Our goal as a family is to get 1 million people to read the Bible cover to cover in a year. And that all came from saying, yes, I'll do it. I'll find 5 friends. Yes, I'll sell everything and move into an RV.
But you know,
it's so fun like that.
when you listen to the story of Summer, you know, you physically began a journey. You weren't mobile, you were stationary, but as your life moved, so did you physically move. See different things and experience different things and meet other people. And so people listen, don't let, you said say yes quickly. Don't get caught up in the how.
It's say yes quicker.
Say it
quicker and don't get caught up in the how. Just, I didn't know how and I didn't know where. And can we just tie all this back in? So our family ministry work is to get 1 million people to read the Bible, and we will do it. 1 million people are going to read the Bible because I got my company taken away. I'm putting this in perspective for you guys, that from that was birthed something I would never imagine. And you could have person after person on here that will say that Bible challenge changed their life. People have gotten baptized. People have surrendered to the Lord. People have had healed marriages. People who lost parents during COVID who are like, if I wasn't in this Bible challenge, I don't know how I would have survived. People who lost children. So many things that testimonies that come in all the time. And every one of those testimonies, I go back to, if that didn't happen, this person wouldn't this. And so I just feel like I want to tie all that back in for those of you watching, is whatever season you're in, man, I promise you, there are people who need you. There are things on the other side that you can't fathom, because I was the last person that was going to lead 1 million people to read the Bible. Like, that was, nope, not on my radar. I have 3 books now because there was no Bible study that went cover to cover. On all of Amazon. We bought one and it jumped to Matthew on week 5, and God was like, nope, cover to cover, cover to cover, cover to cover. So I had to start writing my own reading plan, my own journal questions for our Zoom calls. And halfway through the year, my friend's like, I think you're supposed to create this. And so we did. We created the first of its kind Bible study that went cover to cover, which is so crazy that it didn't already exist. So we have a female version, the first one, then we did a men's one. And then last year we came out with, it's called A Year of Miracles.
Yeah.
And then we have a new one coming out this summer.
Oh, nice. So make sure that we'll give you a chance to drop this up. I want to just go back to what you said because it's really powerful. And you did a great job tying it back together. Because everybody, when that moment of truth in your life, when you think that you just can't take another step because whatever's happened to you is so in your mind, so devastating. You know, I people freak out when I tell them, man, when I get in that situation now and I feel that, I start smiling.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, all right, God, me and you, what's up? You know I'm asking for bold things. You know we're here to serve people in a bold way.
Yeah.
Speakers don't want to feel like yourself. You know, that bold, million people. You're going to do it. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be 1 million plus.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it. I just get to hang on for the ride. And Geoff, so I had that betrayal with my company. And then I started my new company. I started my coaching business. Yeah. I made 6 figures my first 6 months. Yeah. I had never made 6 figures in a year. I'd never made money. Not really. And so I was like, whoa, and now God's giving me money. What do you do with money? I don't even know. But shortly after that, when I started my new company and I had great success, what happened?
Yeah.
I got another new level of a betrayal. And then the next year, another betrayal. But I didn't get devastated. I was like, all right, Lord, what are we doing here? Like, where are we going? What's going to happen? So I've learned to trust him on new levels and not be dismayed. Like you said, it's almost like a smile now. I actually feel bad. Like people are like, oh, I got fired. I lost my job. And I'm like, that's so awesome. I mean, I'm so sorry. That's not also, it's so awesome because I know you're going to get something better. You're going to get an upgrade. And every time that's been happening over the last 3 years, like I have to stifle myself because I'm just like, oh, that's just, don't even waste the tears. Like there's don't waste what I did. Don't cry for like 5 months on the floor. Don't do any of that stuff. Like just step into the glory of what's going to be on the other side that you can't see.
Oh man, that's what it's all about, right? I love that. You know, I have to watch myself too. When someone says, well, I just broke up with my boyfriend and I knew he was a dud anyway. I'm saying, oh, great. And then, you know, I didn't do that, or a job or whatever it is. So you're so true. And
congratulations. Awesome.
They're looking at you like, oh, you know, so.
Yeah. Sometimes, luckily, a lot of times it's in a text. And I was like, oh, wait, let me rewrite this first. I'm sorry to hear you're struggling. How can I help you? And then and congratulations. I think good things are going to happen for you.
Yes. Sneak that in there, right? Because you want them to recognize, you want them to know that there's something greater coming. So.
Yes, and I'm going to go back and tie one more point in. I want to remind you guys that forgiveness has to be one. I didn't start, honestly, Geoff, I didn't share this story of betrayal until the Speak Off. And when that was the story that kind of got birthed out of me, and I tried to do other ones, I was like, really? I don't think I want to do this one. And the first time I shared it, I cried really hard. Yeah. I didn't share it until I was in a place where I have forgiven those people. If I saw them on the street, I wouldn't be like, oh no, you know, like I would, I'm past that, but I had to work through that forgiveness. I had to be released from that. I had to be in a place of praying for blessing for them. That is so pivotal, you guys. Forgiveness for yourself, forgiveness for the people in order to move on. I just want to make sure that's not lost. I would not have any of this. Had I not stepped into that place of forgiveness and stopped walking in anger and bitterness and hurt and pain.
So, you know, that's powerful that you brought that back, because forgiveness. So let me ask you this, Summer. When did you forgive yourself? Because they say you have to forgive yourself before you can forgive others. You remember how that was for you?
Oh, it's constant. It's not I've arrived. I just had a session with a lady on Friday and was walking through new levels of forgiveness for myself. To be honest with you, actually attached to my calling, attached to this leading 1 million people, there was a part of me still struggling, to be honest with you, with almost like a false humility, because who says that? Who says we're going to lead 1 million people? Like, that's a big deal. And I didn't realize, and I had to walk through forgiveness for myself, that I was struggling still with a little bit of like disbelief and false humility. So when I would share, I wasn't sharing as bold, Geoff. Like I would share, but then kind of backtrack and be like, isn't that crazy that God's going to do that? And won't it be neat? But not standing in the authority and the calling and the vision and the countless, like, he's just countless times. He just confirms. And yet I was afraid to fully stand and be like, no, I'm doing this. I'm leading 1 million people to read the Bible. 100,000 of them are coming this year.
Yeah.
Because they are.
Yeah.
So I had to just then. So it's a constant. It's not just like, 3 years ago, I did forgiveness work on myself. And now I'm just fine. No, I constantly have to revisit. Oh, man, I've been beating myself up for this. Yeah. I get to walk through that forgiveness for myself because it's sneaky. It's sneaky. So I'm sure tomorrow I could sit down with someone and realize another thing. Oh, dang it. I have not forgiven myself for that. I will say I did a lot of work, with the 12-step programs. Yeah. So I've gone through Celebrate Recovery. I've done all of those. And that was very helpful for bringing like a lot of stuff to the surface. If people haven't done a program like that, then like coaching is really good. If you have a good coach, you got to make sure you got a good coach. But that's part of I have several programs, but one of the programs that we offer for women is I teach forgiveness. I teach steps to walk through it. It's sometimes the pain is so deep and hard. Just saying I forgive you doesn't dig those roots out. So I do teach how to like dig the roots out on the things that have been really painful. And we've walked women through, forgiveness for being trafficked to hundreds of people, forgiveness for infidelity in marriage, forgiveness for just like all the things. It's beautiful. It's powerful. I've just seen the power of forgiveness. The power of forgiveness is incredible. It's not for the other person. It's for you. It's for the other person. It's not to make what they did right. It's not to excuse them. It's literally going, I'm going to choose forgiveness instead of bitterness and anger and all these things. I'm going to release that person. And then I'm going to powerfully move forward in my life.
That's right. Because you're carrying all that stuff inside that you think they are owing. It's all on you, right? Yeah. And I love the reference to the 12-step processes. And, there's that honesty, open-minded, and willingness, kind of the how of those programs is really powerful. So Summer, listen, man, boy, time has just gone by. And so just kind of as we wind up today's conversation, thank you so much, first of all, for going back to highlighting the points. So when you listen to this thing again, take some notes again. She's dropped some powerful stuff in here. I'm taking notes here, and I'm supposed to be listening. So you better be taking them as well, and show some love in here. So Summer, tell us how we can get a hold of you. What's the best way to do that? And maybe what you have going on that we can kind of have a look out for coming up here in the spring or something.
Sure. I'm, we're on the countdown here for September 19th. So if you are like, man, I want to read the Bible cover to cover and have accountability with 100,000 people from all over the world, then we'd love to have you with us. Summer Dey, DEY.com is my website that kind of has stuff about my coaching and everything that I do. Summerdey.com. It's Summer, SUMMERDEY.com. And then I saw, I don't know how you say that. Stephanie, beautiful name. Yeah. Stephanie put the link to Master Your Mouth, and that's just a free gift. If you enjoy what I was talking about, shifting, I'm tired. So I have a whole training thing on that, but I made a bullet point. So if you just want the bullet points of just, hey, take this word out, shift this word to that. It's just got a little boom, boom, boom bullet point of all that. And you can just go to masteryourmouth.com, and that'll give you basic training to just start being aware of those things that you're speaking. Because sometimes we're aware, but we're like, well, what do I do about it? So that's going to give you the, what do you do? Shift and replace with this right there. So if that'll bless you, your audience, bless your people, then go to masteryourmouth.com. You can get that free PDF.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. I'm going to get mine. I don't know. So everybody else better go get theirs. So what do you want to leave today's audience with and discussion with, and just a couple?
Oh, that you're just more powerful than you know. You're just more powerful than you know. You have power in your life over no matter what you're walking through. You have power over your finances, over your relationships, with how you choose every day to speak about them. I had a client, Anita. Man, this is her favorite training that I do, and she's been with me for about 2.5 years now. And she changed the way she spoke. and it affected her marriage so much. Her husband ended up giving her flowers, and she hadn't gotten flowers from her husband in 20 years.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, if you just learn to master the way that you're speaking, you learn to master your mouth to reprogram that brain, you will be shocked at what can change and shift in your life. Like if you want more confidence, this is how you get it. Confidence comes from the way you speak. And when you shift things, it'll shift your confidence. It'll shift how you show up in relationships. I talked to a 13-year-old girl last night about her mom, and she told me that her mom is a more positive person, and that's shifted her to be a more positive person, the ripple effect. So I hope all of you guys will check that out and just be that change that you want to see, because you're powerful. And when you choose the words carefully, and when you recognize that everything coming out of your mouth, it's either building you and the people around you up, or it's tearing you down. And that's what my message is. I just want to help people learn those subconscious things that they're saying that they don't realize are massively affecting their life.
Also, so true. And if they're a parent and their kids are hearing it, so they're just setting the kids up for failure. So Summer, wow, it's been amazing.
You're amazing.
Yes, thank you. Back at you.
Thank you. I received that.
Yes, I hope so. Because here's the virtual hug. All right, you guys be safe. I know you're headed out as soon as we get off. Okay. Thank you so much. Make sure when you hear this, you send this out to all your friends. Tag them, subscribe to this, and reach out to this lady. She is the real deal. And you got some really great things today. So, Summer, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. We'll see you again. Bye-bye. Oh, man. Ooh, I told you. I mean, just a fantastic conversation with a dear friend that is really just as genuine and pure and authentic as they come. And hey, listen, she is a fire. She's a fire stick, baby, because she's got a lot that you want to get a hold of from her. So make sure you get in the chat, reach out to her. And then Daly says, hi, Summer. I love the things you teach. Truly life-changing for so many. And Steph saying, thank you, Summer, and trust in new levels. So really just great things. So I challenge you to do what she said. Be aware of it. Think about what you say. Have something. Think about all the things you say that are holding you back. And then think about the words that you can say that replace them. So when they come up, practice with it. Make it a family activity, right? Bring the kids around. Hey, we're going to change the way we think, change the way we live, change how we feel about one another. You can make it whatever it is. But I challenge you from the beginning, right? We started out, hit the pause button, hit the reset button, take a deep breath, suck in all the joy and prosperity and achievement and spiritual blessings you need, and then exhale all the worry, anxieties, and all that stuff that's just stuff. And remember that the power that you say, the words that come out of your mouth are going to dictate the condition of your life. So change the way you think, change what you say. No more stinkin thinking, baby. That's coming from the king, comeback king. No more stinkin thinking. Share this information. Go out and get Summer's information. And see you on the next episode. We love you. Thank you for showing us some love at Conversations with Geoff. We'll talk to you again.